Good day, everybody. I'm Al,
Hi, I'm Brian.
and we are rolling in crypto today. Here to join us is, well, nobody's here to join us, but hopefully you're here to join us. And what we're trying to do here is create a community to share information with each other, leave comments, bring in other people. We are not financial advisors. Do not take your financial advice from us. Go to a financial professional to get that. We're just here for entertainment. But that said, please like, share, and subscribe, and share it with friends. Anybody that who is interested in crypto and interested in making money with crypto, we would like to build a huge community here and share a lot of information. As you know, there is tons of information out there, some good, some bad, some indifferent. What we want to do is weed through this information and bring it to you in an easy to use format. And with the community, people can share information that is pertinent to investing in crypto. Anything to add to that, Brian?
Yeah, I just think that I'm kind of excited. I don't know, like right now that we're at kind of a tipping point. Is now the best time to put a lot of your money into the crypto market, or is it time to get out before it goes significantly lower? I think that, there's a lot of FUD in the air, and I always look at when others are being fearful, it's time to be greedy. But though if I knew the future, I would be richer than I am today. So,
well, Warren Buffett would agree with you. I don't think he would agree with you as far as investing in crypto, though. But I personally, what I'm doing is just kind of dollar cost averaging in. Every one of these little dips, I add to my favorite cryptos and my coins that I think I like and I think will do well in the future. And if you go back over the last few cycles of crypto, it's been the right thing to do.
Yep, no, that's exactly what my plan is. And I also think that when there's more FUD in the air, I tend to stick to the higher cap coins. You're looking at your Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the ones in the top 10 or top 15. I think they're far more stable and right now far more likely to still be around here years from now, where it's kind of at the peak of the bull market is when all the altcoins and some of your really low end ones, really pump or moon, whatever term you want to use for it.
Well, one thing that I really, 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 really like about crypto is the ability to stake. And, while your money is just sitting, unlike a bank account, which is paying nothing. I mean, you're losing money with your money sitting in a bank account right now. A lot of these crypto coins are paying 10% and up. And that's, I don't mind having my money set for 2-3 years if I have to while I'm making 10%.
Oh yeah. Wasn't that the whole thing with the S&P and time in the market? If you could get 8% a year over 20-30 years, that was a significant amount of money.
Oh yeah.
Of course, now in crypto, if something doesn't double within the first day of you buying it, people are pissed and this coin sucks. And what's with crypto? I'm not an instant millionaire.
I'm kind of guilty of that myself. So when I get a little impatient when I'm like, what? I'm only up 20%? How's that happen?
I know. And then you can also watch it drop 20%.
Oh, well, yeah. It never seems to go up as fast as it comes down. I notice we're down. I don't even know what percentages we're down over the past few weeks, but stings a little bit.
Yeah, and I always think when it starts to sting, you got to zoom out a little bit and you see, I'm still up on the year for quite a bit. If you start looking at when I bought it, things are down now. You definitely don't like it if they don't ever go down, but that's not reality.
Well, I try to trick myself into thinking that it's a sale, and which it is. It's a sale. You can get things that you really wanted cheaper, and then 3 years from now or 2 years from now or 1 year from now, you're going to laugh and like, man, I'm glad I wasn't scared.
Yeah, I think the whole objective to buy low to sell high, you have to buy low, which means it's not hot at the moment if you're going to buy it low.
Yeah. Well, I've perfected the buy high, sell low in the stock market and in real estate. I've gotten that down, but hopefully with crypto, I will be able to buy low and sell high.
Are you ready to start with some news?
So I got an advertisement today. I used the Brave browser, and an advertisement came up for a cryptocurrency exchange called Abra. And in their ad, it said that Abra was one of the oldest exchanges, which I have never heard of Abra. Have you ever heard of Abra?
Nope. When you brought it up, it's the first time I'd ever heard of it.
First time. So I started doing a little research on it, and come to find out they got started in 2014, which is almost 8 years ago. So they have been one of the original exchanges. They have 1 million users and 1 million downloads on the Play Store. And once I started looking, I was like, well, they're offering $15 to open an account, and you only had to use $1 to open the account. But as with anything, we're always very cautious with opening up new accounts. We have to check, verify, make sure that you're not getting scammed, you're not downloading some malicious malware that's going to infiltrate your phone or your computer and end up stealing some of your information, and God forbid stealing some of your money or your crypto coins. So I was just going on and doing some looking at the reviews on the Play Store, on Google Play Store, and I found that there were a lot of bad reviews, and it was surprising to me because their star rating was about 4.3. So I was, at first I was very impressed. But once I started digging into it, and literally the first 20 reviews were all 1 star, and every single person was basically complaining about not getting their account set up, the account taking weeks to set up. Even after it was set up, they still would have to go back and verify information again. Here's just one review. Took 2 weeks for them to verify and approve my account. Never experienced this type of wait from a financial institution. 1 star. Here's another one. Sent my check 5 months ago, which was received in cash by Prime Trust, but I've never gotten credit for it in Abra. Now I know there's always things that can happen, miscommunication, but I feel like when there's that many people who give an app that many bad reviews in a row, that something's wrong, and maybe they just need time to fix it. But to go through and have to deal with setting up your information, sharing your information, only to gain $15 in bonus, to me is not worth my time. If I can't get it done in a half hour time, then it's not really worth the effort to just earn $15. Another complaint on it was that they don't have a lot of the newer coins that are out. So they said, basically, if you're trading in Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's an okay app to use, but there are better apps. And as far as you want to trade in some of the altcoins, it is not the app to go to. So in my conclusion, I will take a look at it again in the future, but for right now, I will not be signing up with Abra to get my $15 bonus. And like I say, I'll just check them on them again in the future. But for now, I've got a no recommendation.
Yeah, the thing that always concerns me when you start looking at it's one of the oldest and it's been around since 2014. If we haven't heard of it and it's not a better exchange by now, what have they been doing for the last 7 years?
I don't know. Resting on their laurels, maybe, but I would, after looking at the reviews, they're not resting on their laurels. So
I think there's, especially with cryptocurrency, and that there's fake accounts, there's fake apps even on the Google Play Store. You have to be very diligent, do your own research, and make sure that you're getting a high quality product. And a lot of times, sticking to the exchanges, sticking to the projects that and trust is a great way to at least reduce your risk as much as possible.
Let me ask you this question. I know Google on the Play Store on Android has they'll put Google verified on some of the apps. But is there a way to verify an app to make sure that it's the company that's issuing the app is the company that's issuing it? Because if you type in Abra, there will come up with several different versions of Abra, and trying to locate the actual company's Abra app is not always that easy, because you don't know which one is the official one.
Yeah, I think I think that's a common problem. And a lot of the fraud ones, I mean, they get removed eventually, but the new one pops up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that I've definitely gone from their official website. I click through there into the app store, so I know I'm on the official one. Reviews are another big way. I mean, pretty much all the fraud ones have really low reviews, and you can see it almost instantly. And then the other one is how many downloads. Almost, if it's something that's a pretty popular exchange, it's going to have millions of downloads on the Play Store. Whereas you look at the fraud one and they're at 1,000. I mean, that's 1,000 people they frauded out, but it's
Right.
not the 2.5 million that the actual exchange app is been used.
Well, I was kind of saddened. I was wishing the reviews would have been better, because I would definitely have gone and signed up and spent $1 to make 15 and open
I
up
know
another
free
account.
is for you.
Free is for me. That's, you guys will get to know that free is for me. I love making free money, which is why I bring you the videos on how to make free money on Coinbase, and more in the future.
So I found this video. It's from CNBC. It's from Michael Saylor, posted on his Twitter account. And if you know, he's one of the biggest Bitcoin proponents. But he talks about volatility is driven in part by a lack of maturity in the accounting and tax guidance for digital assets. And I just think this video is just brilliant on some of the different things that can be happening.
Off 30% from his high. So it's an ideal time for crypto investors to take advantage of a tax loophole that could go away starting on January 1st. Now, under current law, crypto holders are exempt from the so-called watch rule sale. Now, that watch sale rule requires investors to wait 30 days before buying back the security they sell for tax losses. So if you bought Bitcoin at, say, 65,000 and you sell today for around 47, you could use that $18,000 loss to offset any gains and then immediately buy it back to stay invested in the market. Now, crypto markets have lost over $700 billion in market cap just in recent weeks. Those losses could be highly lucrative to offset other gains from crypto, NFTs, or even the stock market. All of this is likely to change next year. That's because Democrats' Build Back Better plan includes a rule eliminating the watch sale rule for debt exemption for crypto. Tax advisors recommend investors sell the tranches with the highest cost bases before January 1st. Now, under
the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin market isn't very mature. Then you take these altcoins. Well, if the Bitcoin market isn't mature, these other ones are extremely on the immature side, which means, one big move from just even one big whale on some of these cryptocurrencies gets it dropping so much lower. And of course, if people have different options, then, those that triggered and that's kind of when we get some of these big sell-offs, and especially the big sell-off that we had just a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? You think that the regulation on that is a good thing for crypto?
I do. I think we need a baseline of regulation. I think that a little bit of regulation that can help some manipulation. I also think that a little bit of regulation is the only way we get mass adoption. And the more mass adoption, the more network effect we have, the greater the price of all the cryptocurrencies. So I'm kind of on the belief that cryptocurrency is the future of how we're going to use or spend money. And I think we just need the right amount. I guess who determines what the right amount is, right? But
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we need some, and the complete lack of regulations, I think, it really creates a lot of the volatility that we see in the market.
I agree. And, I think that absolutely, adding some regulation would add safety to it. But then, the whole concept of decentralized and not having somebody be able to control how it's used, it's a give and take. And I don't know where, like I said, we don't know the amount of regulation that is needed and it's required. And my thoughts is eventually crypto will be regulated just like stocks.
It'll be interesting, especially since it's technically supposed to be a currency.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, every buy and every sale will be monitored. You'll have to report them all. You'll have to report every, coin that you make, every coin that you sell, every dollar that you make. I think it'll be treated just like stocks, and there will be an SEC for the cryptocurrency market.
That'll be interesting if that does come to pass, and because the hardest thing then that would really make it hard to start utilizing cryptocurrency as a form of payment.
I agree. I think, when the government sees something like this, especially with, literally trillions of dollars changing hands, that there's too much taxing opportunity there to be missed.
Yep. All right. So let's talk about one more thing. Let's talk about Bitcoin.
And for all of our viewers out there, we would like to know your opinion on what you think about regulation going forward. So please comment below and voice your opinion on what you think.
All right. So if you guys have ever heard of Plan B, he's one of the more famous analysts. He's been on Twitter. You can see him in a variety of different places, and who has predicted the price of Bitcoin pretty accurately up to this year, though December he did miss, because he thought we'd have a nice big blow off top. So did a lot of people. So one of my big, what's that?
I said me included.
Yeah. So, kind of the big question for me, and this is kind of the big question going forward is, are we at the top? Are we in a bear market now, or do we have more room to grow on Bitcoin going into next year? So what he has to say is, I don't think 69,000 was the top for this halving cycle. If 69,000 were the top, in a typical bear market, 80% drawdown would bring the bottom to 14,000, below the 2017 all-time high of 20,000, and below the 200 moving average of 18,000. Now, that has never happened, and in my opinion, it will never happen. So
I hope he's right.
So do I. I mean, and I think this is the big question going forward is, if you believe that we still have a big room to grow in Bitcoin, then right now is a great time to get into Bitcoin. If you think we're going to see a big bear market and we're going to drop to 20, 30,000, even to 14,000, then it's time to be on the sidelines. So where are you on that stance? Just in your opinion, are you ready to keep going into Bitcoin, or are you going on the sidelines?
No, I'm definitely going to be hodling. I have a lot of my investments in altcoins, so I'm not really in Bitcoin. But as we know, Bitcoin pretty much affects everything going forward. And as I had mentioned earlier, I really enjoy, the staking part of cryptocurrency. I don't want to keep my money in the bank and lose money. And I feel like the stock market is set for a correction at maybe 10 to 15%. Of course, they're all predicting, that it's going to, because of this inflation rate, and then with the Fed easing on some of their buying programs of treasuries. So I feel like the stock market's going to pull back, and a good place to just sit your money is in cryptocurrency. And like I say, most I'm probably averaging about 10% on almost all my coins if you put it all together. So I like making 10%, and I'm willing to set 2 or 3 years to see what happens.
Yeah, I guess I'm under the notion, just in my opinion, that Bitcoin still has some room. I actually own a larger portion of my portfolios in Bitcoin. I think I just see it as the gold standard asset going forward, and willing to accumulate as the market dips. I look at buying more. I do have mine, earning interest as well. And I think, one of the other things that relates to Bitcoin, I saw a bunch of things, with our inflation numbers coming out and Bitcoin drops in price. And like, see, it's not an inflation hedge. And I'm like, you can't judge whether Bitcoin's an inflation hedge of whether or not what the price does on some day, some announcement comes on, a report.
Right.
And I look at, it is an inflation hedge. If you look at over the course of this year, Bitcoin's up 150%. And, we're at 20% of inflation. If you look at real inflation, not the kind of government numbers that they fake.
Yeah.
Like the one guy that said, your grocery, there's no inflation in groceries if we take out meat, eggs, cheese, everything you buy.
Right.
So
or take out fuel costs. Really, I buy fuel every other day. So how do I take that out of the inflation formula?
And I saw another thing, and just on and when that inflation number that came out, only 4% is counted for your gas. And if you drive, you drive anywhere, right? It's a much bigger percent than 4% of your budget.
Yes. I mean, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And then kind of the other pro Bitcoin for me going forward is just the fact that I think a lot of institutions, are changing, they're allocating what they do, especially as it comes to the end of the year. And once it comes to January 1st going forward in the first quarter of next year, they have a lot of money that needs to go somewhere. And we can already see it going into cryptocurrency. And I mean, as you mentioned with the stock market, if you're a big institution, I don't know why you wouldn't be wanting to put your money into Bitcoin and then some of the other top altcoins.
Well, I 100% agree with that. And if I were a fund manager, and I would love to have on my sheets that I was getting my firm or my fund into cryptocurrency in 2021, because as we know, crypto is going to move up. And then now when your fund says we didn't get into crypto till 2022, you look like you're behind the game. You look like you're a follower and not a leader. And I just know that Kathy Woods, she's been out there in front of everybody, and I think she's going to be correct. And then there'll just be a lot of followers of her, and everybody's like, well, why are we going to mess with the followers? Let's go with the person who's the innovator and the leader.
I absolutely agree. Right. Well, I want to really thank everyone for watching today. Please subscribe. Please comment below if you disagree, you agree with any of the things that we discussed today. And I really hope that you guys have a great day and enjoy.
See you tomorrow.